Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Noah. In today's video, of course, we're going to be talking about Eternals. A lot of people have been talking about this movie. The Rotten Tomatoes scores have come out and it's basically negative. Yeah, I didn't like this movie. Thank you for joining me while I talk to you about movies. I really appreciate that. In today's case, we're going to be talking about Eternals. Now, I was really hyped about this movie, and I don't know what else to say except that I'm very disappointed. Now, some of that is my fault because I did put so many expectations onto this movie before it came out. Even Kevin Feige was like, oh yeah, it's gonna win Best Picture. This is definitely not Best Picture material. My expectations simmered a little bit too when I saw that the critic scores on Rotten Tomatoes was 47%. And don't get me wrong, I don't judge movies based on Rotten Tomatoes solely. It does give me a pretty good indicator on what I should look at while watching the movie and before I watch the movie, because there are movies that have a higher critic score than Eternals. For example, Captain Marvel has a high Rotten Tomatoes score. I didn't like Captain Marvel, and that one even has a higher percentage than Eternals, and I think that Eternals is a good movie. All of the groundwork there, I can see where Chloe Zhao was trying to go. I just don't think the execution was very good. I didn't really enjoy the script, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that right now. Now, the script for this movie, I think it's pretty weak. That's just in my opinion. Maybe some people feel a little bit differently, but I thought the script was pretty weak. And in turn, with the script being very weak, I also thought that the performances weren't that good. And these two things kind of go hand in hand sometimes. You get a bad script, the actors can't really do much with it. But if you have bad performances, then the script doesn't really shine like that. So whatever the problem was, I think these two things were the biggest standouts in my opinion. Maybe I just figured that going into this movie with a lot of expositional scenes, I thought that I would enjoy this movie because the writing has to be on point for exposition, right? Like, you have to explain why Celestials are here and even a thing, why Eternals are on Earth. You have to explain the deviants and stuff like that. I thought maybe since that they were going to try to explain all that stuff in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I thought maybe the script would be like on point, but to me, it just wasn't. It's also very interesting to me that Chloe Zhao ended up writing the script as well. She wrote the screenplay for this movie and directed it, so I just don't know what happened with this movie. It could have been a really good movie. Now, before I get any flack for this, the performances aren't dog shit. For sure, they're still feasible. In particular, I want to talk about Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek is so wooden in this movie, and I'm not sure because, again, a lot of these characters here, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. A lot of these characters here are aliens, and minus, Dane Whitman, Kit Harington's character. But a lot of these characters are aliens. They're robots. So maybe they're supposed to be wooden. Maybe they're supposed to be acting like this. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I just think that maybe if you were on Earth for 7,000 years, you would at least get a little bit of emotion. And now let's get into the characters, because I think that the characters aren't really even characters. Let me explain. What is Cersei's character development? What is her character arc through the movie? Now, I've watched it 2 times and I still don't understand. You see Cersei as a school teacher in the beginning, right? So, she has a life. You see her going out with Dane Whitman. She has a life outside of the Eternals and stuff, and she kind of just, I don't know, you don't really get a sense of attachment with her. All you know is that she cares about people, and she's trying to become the leader of the Eternals. If those are her character traits, then cool, but again, that's not much to work with. Just in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to give out hate as if like this is a terrible movie. I hate this movie. Don't go see it. No, definitely go see it. I just have problems with the movie itself. With 10 characters, with 10 Eternals on this team, it feels like Chloe Zhao either had a hard time trying to give us everything in a 2 hour and 40 minute movie, which, by the way, this movie definitely should have been split up into a miniseries on Disney Plus. Definitely should have been a miniseries. And I would have watched the out of it. I would have watched the hell out of this movie or this TV series. So, but those are my problems with the movie. Let's talk about some of the stuff that I do like. Even though I do have some problems with the characters and some of their motives and stuff like that, the casting in this movie is A1. I really do believe that. Again, it just goes back to the script and how these characters are written. With the little action sequences that do happen in the movie, I enjoyed them frequently. I loved how the Celestials looked. These guys looked badass. Okay. Another thing I didn't like was the villain, and Marvel movies do have a really bad rap with villains, albeit a Thanos, a Loki, who else am I forgetting? This one has a very bad villain. And again, this is a very different Marvel movie. It's not supposed to have a huge villain with a huge, a huge fight scene at the end. Even though there is one, it's not a boss battle, if that makes sense. This is more of an Eternals fighting with each other story. They do introduce a villain, though. A villain. And it's not intriguing at all. I don't understand. It's not intriguing at all. It's basically a deviant who is evolving into a higher deviant, I guess you could say, by absorbing more Eternals powers. So this deviant was able to absorb Ajax's powers. They also absorbed Gilgamesh's powers and someone else I'm forgetting. But the point is, this guy wasn't even that intriguing to me. He's in the movie for like 3 or 4 scenes, and he's just meant to be a monster. That has a lot to do with the character work. Once again, I mean, if this whole movie was supposed to be about explaining Celestials and why they're here and why Eternals are here, then so be it. That would have been cool. But don't introduce characters and try to make us care about them and then not give us any substance. I basically felt nothing in this movie towards the characters up until like Gilgamesh died. When Gilgamesh died for Thena, that's when I started caring a little bit, but even then he didn't have that much of a character arc. So it's really rough. Another thing I didn't like was the editing. Now the editing made it feel super choppy. I think the first 20 minutes of the movie, we just keep cutting back and forth. Even Cersei's introduction to the movie felt super rushed. It felt like we spent no time with her until Icarus comes flying in to save her. It felt super rushed. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It does clean up a little bit during the third act. The flashback sequences of Eternals fighting other deviants, those kind of work for me. So I understand why they couldn't just go straight in with those and then evolve the story all the way up to the present day, because it would have been so long. It would have been such a long movie if they did that. So the flashbacks do kind of work for me, but the first 20 minutes is super choppy, and yeah, I don't know. It just felt a little weird to me. First of all, let me just get some of the stuff that I liked out of the way. I really enjoyed a lot of the cinematography. This is a beautiful movie. If you guys have not seen the trailers, you can instantly tell that this is a gorgeous movie. Chloe Zhao definitely knows how to play with colors and the cinematography with like the sun and stuff. Just simple stuff like that make it stand out from other Marvel movies. I thought that was amazing. The entire theme of the story of this movie is something that I did enjoy. I did enjoy the fact that these Eternals were arguing with themselves over whether it's right or wrong to let a planet die, to potentially have another Celestial be born, and that Celestial make galaxies, universes, suns, whatever. Guys, I think I've talked enough about this movie. There's a lot to like, and I can definitely see where Chloe Zhao was going with this, but the execution was definitely not on point. This definitely could have been a better movie. What do you guys think? If you guys have seen the movie, let me know down below in the comment section. Does it deserve the 47% Rotten Tomatoes rating? Honestly, yeah, I do. I think it does. It's sad to say, because this would have been a very nice movie to watch after like Shang-Chi, if it was executed properly. Definitely not my favorite MCU movie. Definitely not the movie that I thought it was going to be, but it is what it is. This could have been a very, very cool project that Marvel had under their belts. I really wanted this movie to be good, guys, and I really wanted to enjoy it, but sadly, I just kind of didn't. Until next time, thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to be making videos just like this one every week, so stay tuned for that. Drop a like down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to see more movie reviews and basically me talking about movies. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.